Okay, this is 1028 Driscoll. This is after we had the tile installers come to replace over 150 tiles that were chipped when we got the house. So you can see all the tape. This is the approximate volume of newly chipped tiles. We're, in terms of newly chipped tiles, we're no better off. We still have just as many chips as we did before. So let me give you, there's no difference, by the way, between the blue and the white tape. I just ran out. Let me give you an example of how this went down. So here's an example right here. I'd asked them not to replace any tiles that went underneath caulking and like cabinets and stuff. But they were replacing this tile right here that doesn't go under the caulk. In the process of replacing this one, they damaged this one very badly, so then they had to pull this one out. In the process of replacing these two, they chewed up this tile here, and this tile here, and this tile here. And I'll zoom in so you can see. That's a small chip, I know, but it's just not what you expect in a brand new floor. There's another one. And then this one's the same thing, all along the edge. They just chewed up the tile. They were using a jackhammer to get all the substrate out and everything. They were just hammering away and they were just very focused on taking out the tiles with marks on them, and they were not focused on not damaging other tiles. So to replace this one tile right here, if we really wanted to fix the problem that they've created, we would need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tiles. And I had raised the issue early on that we were looking like we were going to run out of tile, and no one was responding to me. Eventually, so what I was doing early on was they were making so much of a mess that they couldn't even see the damage they were creating if they had wanted to look for it. So I was going behind them, cleaning up and pointing out to them where they created damage and getting them to replace that. Because in some cases, the damage was much, much worse. I'll give you an example, like right here. You know, this is way worse than the one next to it that they replaced. You know, the one before it was an edge chip. Now they just, I don't know what they did here, dropped a tool or something. Anyway, so eventually I saw the pattern. I saw that we were going to run out of tile. I saw that they were making everything worse. So I just stopped following behind them. I stopped asking them to replace the damage they were creating. And I even went through and pulled up tape on tiles that they were supposed to replace so that I could just stop them and get them out because they were making things worse. But we actually have worse problems than that because now a lot of the tiles that they put in sit up significantly higher than the surrounding tiles. I mean like 1/8 of an inch, like it's pretty bad. So this is underneath the table here. I don't know if you can see, but these tiles they replaced, it sits up a good 1/8 of an inch, you know. And this is logically, given the structure of the home, this is where you would put a table and chairs. This is so bad that when you try and push a chair in, it gets stuck. You can't push the chair in. I mean, it's so bad that you can't functionally use the floor like you would use a normal tile floor. I do not want to be picking up my chair to get it under the table for the rest of the 20, 25 years that I'm going to be living in this house. And this is just one spot. It's kind of all over. It just kind of sticks up. The other issue that we have is we did an acid wash. The grout was cream colored when we got the house, and it was supposed to be beige. And so we did an acid wash 24 hours after after the new tiles were put in. And it seems like it pulled up the grout in a lot of places. So I'll give you an example. I've been going through and trying to pull it up, but here's an example. So after it dried, after the acid wash, there were a lot of places where I would see this kind of sandy stuff, like sparkly stuff, and it would be sometimes spilling out to the sides like here. And so I would go through with a toothbrush and try to get it up, you know, and then kind of wipe it with a rag. And I'm still not done. You can see this is just kind of a mess. You know, you don't want a floor that looks like this. But it just really looks like we pulled up some grout, you know. And this is just one example. It's kind of all over. So now I have to figure out how to get grout in there. I Googled it. Can I just smear more grout in there? And they say no, because then you'll create layers, and you're supposed to use a grout saw and saw the existing grout and get new grout in there. Well, I don't know how you're going to saw this existing grout without chewing up the tiles next to it, given all the issues that we've had. So that's the situation with the floor here. I'm really unhappy with it. I'm actually way less happy with it than I was when we first got the house. because now I've got multiple issues going on.